This is a short bite episode of Homeschool Together. Sometimes that shark, he looks right into you, right into your eyes. You know the thing about a shark, he's got lifeless eyes, black eyes like doll's eyes. When he comes at you, it doesn't seem to be living until he bites you. And those eyes roll over white, and then you hear it. I don't do Robert Shaw any justice.
No.
Hello and welcome to Homeschool Together. Today we are talking about one of the great horror movies of all time to finish up our series of board games centered on Halloween. And this is Jaws. A wonderful, kind of like two games in one in the way it's designed.
It is. This is from Ravensburger. So it's a 2 to 4 player game. I'd say probably 8+ because there's quite a bit of 8, 9+. There's a lot of decision making.
So let's talk about the first half of the game. It's
about 45 minutes.
Yeah. So the first half of the game is set on Amity Island.
Yeah, you get to play the famous
so you have Quint,
characters.
Hooper, and Brody.
Right. And so each of them have their own traits. So like the shark is secret so one player is the shark and the other three. So we've played this with some friends of ours, and Matt was the shark. He did a very good job being the shark.
I love to be the shark.
He loved it. I hate being the villain, but he loved it.
I loved it.
And so he was the shark, and basically he's moving around different sections of the water around the island.
He's trying to get an Impossible Burger at the Tiki Hut.
Yeah. And his goal is to eat swimmers. So there's little swimmers, little swimmer tiles all around, and each turn more swimmers get put out through the island. So he's trying to run around and secretly nom some swimmers.
And you guys are trying to find me.
And we're trying to find him. So Brody is running around the island. He can close beaches. He can use binoculars to try to see if the shark is at the beach. And if the shark is at the beach he goes to, then you have to tell us that you're there. He can also ferry barrels to Hooper and Quint. So they're both on boats, and they're running around trying to locate the shark and rescue swimmers. They can do that too. But they have these barrels. They put them in the water, and when the shark moves through one of them, you have to tell us that you moved through. And there's also a fish finder to tell kind of what general region the shark is in. So each character, what I really love is each character has their own real unique ability.
Yeah, it's actually very focused. Like
you need everyone,
and it's true to the character in the movie. Like,
right, what they could do, and
for a game that we talked a little bit about Hocus Pocus earlier, but as a game that tried to embrace the idea of the movie. I mean, this game did it.
It totally did. It's funny, like Hooper's boat can move up to 2 spaces because he had the fast, cool boat, whereas Quint's boat can only move 1 because it was kind of the old POS. So that was really cool. This is a really fun adaptation. It's got really great artwork and things. One of the things that makes it cool is when the shark's moving, the shark is doing up to 3 movements or actions a turn. They can eat somebody, then they can move, and they have to tell us, or you had to tell us when you hit a barrel, when you move through. But we didn't know what order, so you could have hit that barrel on your way to go get that swimmer, or and afterwards.
And the way, they can't see the board here, but the way the board is designed is that there's more spaces closer to the island, and there's fewer spaces on the outside. So I think the shark got up to 3 moves. So you could actually circle the entire island in your 3 moves. You could be on the other side of the island. But the closer you got to the island, the more spaces you had to occupy and stuff like that. So your movements were more specific based on what you were trying to attack and do. And that's part of the problem solving, almost the puzzle.
Yeah, it's interesting. when you watch How to Play on this, it seems like it would be, I remember we brought this out with my parents when they were coming to visit one time because they love Jaws and they felt like it was too complex. But really, it's not bad because the person who's the shark, they have they
have their rules and strategies.
Yeah, when you look at the rules are halved basically because they only apply to for you as the shark, you had a whole separate set of guidelines and rules than we did as the crew. So there were only a few things we could really do. We could move, we could deploy buoys. Brody can close beaches.
It is cooperative, so you guys are working together.
Right, we're all working together against the one shark, and so the first half of the game that takes place on Amity Island is over when the shark eats a certain number of swimmers or the crew tags him with 2 barrels.
Mm-hmm.
So either you trip 2 or you. So if he moves through a zone that has a barrel, you have to tell us you tripped the alarm. But if one of the boats goes to a zone and deploys a barrel and you have to be there, it like attaches to the shark.
Just like in the movie.
Just like in the movie.
Yeah.
So if 2 get attached to the shark, then the round is over. So it's interesting because depending on what point the round ends is how you get set up for the next round. So the next round you flip over the board and it's the orca, Quint's boat. So it mimics the end of the movie. But if the shark has eaten more people, then the crew is going to get less weapons and gear to use. And so that's a kind of a scale that goes by. So, if the shark eats a full 9 people, you're barely getting any extra equipment. You have a few weapons, but you don't get a bunch of extra stuff. Whereas if you tag the shark super early, it plays for who has the advantage going into the end.
Yeah, and then so basically the boat is assembled as like little tiles, and just like in the movie, the shark is sinking portions of the boat and throwing people into the water, and you are having to
trying to wound
and injure people. There's some dice rolling for hits against the shark and hits against the characters.
And the characters have weapons. They have melee weapons,
and
they
those have hit points, and you roll
firearms
some dice,
that are projectiles, so they can be at different places on the boat.
Exactly.
It's interesting too because they take this aspect of not knowing where the shark is. So even when you're on the orca, you don't know. Yeah. There's 3 cards that are turned over, and those 3 cards are the resurface opportunities for the shark. So the shark will secretly pick which of those they want to do. The crew will all choose where they want to position themselves, what weapons they want to take, and where they're going to aim. And maybe the shark comes up there, but maybe the shark goes somewhere else. And so when we played this, I remember, I think we tagged you with a second barrel, like right before you'd eaten the 9th swimmer, or maybe you ate the 9th swimmer. We didn't fully, I think that was it. I think you ate the 9th swimmer.
I ate all the swimmers.
You ate all the swimmers, and we ended up going to the orca at a severe disadvantage. And we ended up winning like perfectly with the movie.
Last play, yeah.
We had 1 tile, so the tiles on the orca are all
and he was on the
one color.
He was on the bow. You were on the bow of the boat.
We're on the bow of the boat,
just like Brody was.
It was the only one left, and there was only 2 of us that survived. It was like exactly the movie. So each of the tiles of the boat, they're the regular side of the boat, and then when they take damage, you flip them over, and they're like half sunk. So we were on like a half sunk bow with just 2 of us, and it was so movie perfect.
Yeah, it was. It was right at the end.
It was perfect.
It was, and the funny thing is, even though I was playing the shark, it had that tension. The game built the tension.
Yeah.
And then when it resolved, even though I lost, it was still fun because I almost got you. Just like in the movie.
Yeah, it was fun. I didn't know this is the first game that we've ever had. We do have Betrayal House on the Hill, where one person turns against the rest of everybody else, but that's only kind of at the very end, and so and those conditions are always different. So this was the first one we've ever had where somebody plays against everybody else from the start.
Yeah.
And I didn't know if that was going to be like. I didn't know if it was going to feel like gang up on that person, but
the shark's got a lot of capability. I mean, you're going to lose.
The
swimmers.
shark is really strong,
and it's very difficult. But I think once you start playing, you get kind of a game plan.
Yeah.
I can flee around the island, and then you got to kind of reset and restart. But if I'm fleeing around the island, I'm not eating swimmers. And so therefore I'm not gaining an advantage. So there's a little bit of a tension there between being the shark and then trying to outsmart you guys.
Right. The shark has a little tracker pad as they move around the island. So they're like secretly noting all of their movements so that, there's no cheating that can occur. They have to say like where they moved. So yeah, it's the shark is powerful. And we found definitely that it was difficult for us as the 3 of us to, to get the shark, and you kind of reveled in the shark, because it was funny. We opened the game up and we all kind of looked at each other and we said to our friends, okay, who wants to be the shark? And I'm thinking like, I don't want to play against everybody. And Matt was like, please let me be the shark. We're all like, okay, you want to be the shark. So I think Daddy Shark. This is all our house right now, guys, with the 2-year-old.
No, the 2-year-old is literally falling asleep, waking us in the middle of the night singing Baby Shark.
Oh, yeah. She has a Baby Shark sweatshirt that Grandma bought her. Thanks, Grandma.
Thanks, Grandma.
That you actually push a button and it sings. The sweatshirt, it freaking sings.
And now she's got a puzzle, too. Every time you put a new puzzle piece in, it sings about Baby Shark.
Thanks, Grandma.
Thanks, Grandma.
Thanks.
Anyway, we digress. Jaws.
It's Jaws. So Jaws, Ravensburger.
Age groups, age range. What are you thinking
Yeah,
for this?
I think in 8-9-year-old, depends how strategic. There's a lot of strategy in this one.
I love the aspect of like a moving puzzle.
Yeah.
An active puzzle, not a static puzzle where you're just trying to, a lot of video games, you're just trying to figure out what is the sequence to play. In this case, it's almost a dynamic moving puzzle, a shifting puzzle, kind of like a labyrinth in some respect.
Right. You're trying to strategize with other players to trap the shark, basically, so you can figure out where they are and tag them. So lots of strategy, lots of probability, and when it gets to the end and you're looking at your weapons, you only have so many weapons to use, and so you're really being strategic about when you pull those out. So yeah, I think that they recommend 10 up, but I think you could play this a little bit younger.
Yeah.
If you've got a kiddo that's real strategic, or maybe the kiddo wants to be the shark.
Yeah.
And play in that little bit of an overpowered role against the other players would work really good too. Yeah. It's a really fun one. This is one of those movies that still scares me to this day. It's perfect Halloween.
It's a perfect Halloween movie, but it also, if you've got one of those, a little bit of an older student, it's a great thing to blend reading the book, Peter Benchley's, classic book, watch the movie, and then play the game. It's a nice thing. And he was writing that book. I think he was a speechwriter in the White House during the Reagan administration, if I believe I'm right. No, it was Nixon administration. Way back, he was a speechwriter, and he was so bored he wanted to write novels, and he ended up. I think that's the story around it.
Maybe this needs to be our next novel that we read together.
Ooh. Should we read Jaws?
I think that'd be a great idea,
okay,
and then we'll play the game again.
See, guys, this is you're seeing the real
yeah.
life.
So we have this thing as a couple that
what are we reading right now? Eye of the World.
We're reading Eye of the World, Robert Jordan, to prepare for the Amazon series that's going to be coming out. But we, as a couple, we read a book. It's kind of like we have our own personal book club, essentially. We don't read it together, but we have a
set of
pacing
friends
guide.
that read together. Like one reads to the other one.
Yeah, we do. With us, because we read at different times, we have like kind of it's almost like a pacing guide. We say okay, we're going to read 3 chapters this week, and Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or whatever, and then we can talk about them. And this is one of the ways that we find some connection with having small children, and not being able to always be together but still do something together. And it gives us something to talk about every other day that's something different from the kids. And so I like to pick books, especially Jaws won't be one, but like Eye of the World, for example, is one that I felt very intimidated by reading, and I knew that by reading it with Matt I would be able to finally conquer it.
Yeah, but this is a great one. And maybe even if you...
And we try to pair it with something that's like a movie or
we tried
a
to do a movie. Like we did Godfather, we did The Great Train Robbery, we did Casino Royale.
Yeah,
we've really tried to...
And we try to get to have a meal with it. I don't know, we're going to eat with Jaws. Maybe we'll
have seafood. Fish and chips.
Yeah, well then we'll watch Jaws and turn my stomach. Maybe we won't watch it in the same night as we eat.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'll eat all day long. Watch that movie over and over. Anyway,
that would be really fun.
So Jaws by Ravensburger. An absolutely sleeper of a game. I really do.
It's really good. You don't hear about this one all that much. No. I think it's excellent.
Well, because a lot of times you see things like this, you go, oh, it's just going to be a hokey game.
Well, yeah, because there's so much IP that they're reusing, right? And so especially from classic movies and classic shows, you're seeing this stuff pop over
but
over
Ravensburger
and over.
does a good game. I mean,
they do a fabulous job taking this.
They don't take the cheap route to it. They actually care. Like Hocus Pocus was a really fun game to play. They did that one, I think. If I'm right.
They did a great job with
Jaws.
that one.
I think they're getting a lot of the movie IP games. I think at Target you walk down the aisle and you see a bunch of them.
And you can get this one routinely, maybe for like sub $20. You'll see it on sale. So really affordable, great quality components, good quality markers and little wooden meeples, little wooden boats the meeples go in, and little wooden shark tokens and stuff. I just really love how they take the IP. Not only do they make a really great game, but it's perfectly, the actions and stuff that your characters take totally match what with the movie. Like it fits so well, but it's still really balanced. I think they have this amazing talent to do that at Ravensburger, and I really enjoy it.
I just had a Ravensburger idea. Maybe you need to pull out the phone and tweet face them or whatever you do. Insta tweet at them. I want an Alien video game. I want an Alien board game.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Oh my gosh.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Is it? We'll talk offline on this one.
Yeah.
We'll make this a hallway conversation.
All right.
All right, guys. Anyway, head on over, check out on Amazon. We got a link below. Head on over to Target. I think you can get a cheap copy there. Jaws. Enjoy it. Watch the movie. Scare yourself next week during Halloween. Don't watch Halloween. Watch Jaws.
Yeah, it's much better.
Thanks so much for joining us today and making us a part of your homeschool journey. Please engage with us on social media. Join our Homeschool Together podcast group on Facebook and find us at Homeschool Together Podcast on Instagram. We'd love to hear your feedback, questions, and recommendations. Until next time,
Happy homeschooling!